Before we begin, thank you very much to David D for joining my Patreon campaign. Very appreciated. Thank you so much for the support. Thank you all for the support. It means the world to me, keeps the daily videos going, and potentially doesn't let me get through the month of March with the ability of actually doing my normal intro, which is quickly becoming my rare intro, thanks to you people. I might go another month without being able to do it, but it's a wonderful problem to have. You keep supporting, I will keep grinding. This is like video 560 or something in a row. I've lost track. All right. So have you noticed? Okay, so this is what came out. This is what came out recently, and this was like shocking. This was shocking because this was not announced, this was not leaked, this was not revealed. It just showed up at a store. We had no warning of this whatsoever. There was no source that was on the ball about this. No leaker, no stolen toy, no nothing. Out of nowhere, we got a War Dawn 2-pack with Dion and Ariel with a new spelling. Thank you, Disney. This is like stunning, right? It's like absolutely stunning that this can still happen, where like a Transformer, a brand new release, like a really interesting release, will just show up at a retail outlet out of nowhere. Now, we'll go and look at the pictures and everything more when we do our news recap on Monday, but for now, suffice to say, it's a really impressive set with a ton of remolding for two characters who are, for the most part, obscenely obscure. Ariel has only ever been like somewhat homaged in toys over the years, and like Dion has gotten like the secondhand repaints for years. He was a Universe Hotshot repaint for Botcon. He was a cup repaint in eHobby. No. The cup repaint was Orion Pax. No. He was Wheelie. Dion had to be Wheelie. Poor him. Okay, now I feel bad for Dion. Now, okay, good on Dion. Now he's actually got a full release. But, I mean, it's kind of stunning, because this is kind of like Hasbro's MO these days, and it's like it's so counter to anything Hasbro's been like in the past, right? All of a sudden, we're getting this slew of obscurity and like tapping resources I don't think Hasbro has ever tapped, to the point where I'm wondering, is it just that they like throwing things at us that we don't expect, that just cater to the hardcore fans who would actually know about this stuff? Or they just run so low on characters that they haven't done yet that we have to go to these extremes. Now, there are American-made, US-released mainline figures from G1 that still have not had new toys, so that's probably not the form. It's probably not one of those. It probably is really just they're willing to go to extremes right now. But let's just recap. Let's recap to the extremes. Just a small sampling of them, of where Hasbro has been willing to go to tap characters these days. And the first one is, it's a demeaning picture, but that's the one TF Wiki had. So in Power of the Primes, all the female Autobots from the quest for Alpha Trion got figures that were all combiners. Now, grievances aside, considering they decided every female needed to be the same mold, they even gave figures to Greenlight and Lancer, who at that point really weren't named in any media. They weren't named in the original cartoon. We came up with those names later on after the fact. So like, even though, and they command like huge money now. Like those repaints are like crazy expensive now. So good going girls, like from the depths of obscurity to like the most infamously rare toys somehow. That's a pretty good promotion. That's a pretty good promotion. So good job. But yeah, these are one episode characters who were not given names. I don't even think they had voice lines. They're mostly just to fill out the females in the background. And here they are. They have toys now. Who else? Oh, Devcon. Speaking of cartoon-only characters, Devcon actually did play a major part in a full episode of the original cartoon. Yeah, the one smokescreen episode where the kids learn that gambling can be good. It was a weird episode. Weird episode. But no, this isn't a listing. This isn't a listing. That we know that there is a deluxe Devcon on the way in Legacy Evolution, which is, again, crazy because it doesn't seem like it's going to be a retooling. It seems like it's going to be a brand new mold. It's me presuming, because we don't really have anything that could like fit Devcon spaceship mode at the deluxe size. But again, one episode character is now getting a full mainline release, and as far as I can tell, isn't even going to be a remold. That's kind of insane. Just so you know, this is not what Hasbro used to do. This is not the Hasbro we used to know. Failing that, we do have the one we've recently talked about, which is the Guardian robot. Only appeared in an episode or two of the original cartoon. And again, it was really just a recolored Omega Supreme just to give the Autobots a big threat for a couple episodes. And again, it's really, really, it's really super obscure. And the fact that they're willing to do it at their biggest price point, that's the thing. And as a selects release, too. No, okay, so maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just me. Is it anyone else that kind of feels like the selects are trying to kind of capture that like really random repaint area that Botcon was going into in its later years? I mean, we'll tap into that a little bit more as we go through my quick little list here. But it really does feel like Selects is supposed to replace what Botcon was doing in its later years, like just going to the depths of obscurity to pull repaints from. I mean, that's just me. Like, I mean, I see familiarity in what they're doing. It just seems like ever since. Well, let's talk about it here in a bit, because I guess if we're talking Botcon, we have to go to Diaclone releases, because that was a bulk of what late Botcon was doing before it died. And I mean like original, real Botcon, not like this hollowed out husk that is like a shambling zombie that exists as Botcon today. No. I mean the original. I mean the original one that was actually licensed and official and actually did important things. No, this Botcon was like, they tried so hard to get Diaclone figures, Machine Wars, just like whatever random, like the most like deep pulls for repaints. And oddly enough, like for as many times as Hasbro has gone to the Diaclone well to get their repaints for selects, for Botcon, it always seemed to me that the Diaclone figures were the ones that sold the worst. They're always like the easiest ones to find, either on eBay or their own online shop after the convention. And even when that shop closed down and they were like fire sailing all the ones they had left, it still was very easy to get Diaclone repaints of those characters from that release. So kind of no wonder that like I've seen a lot of the Diaclone selects on sale too. We know Diaclone as collectors. We respect Diaclone. It's where many Transformers came from. We do not really desire Diaclone. Not all of us do. And I don't really think enough to cater to, but we're still getting them. It's coming from someone who like finally got a Delta Magnus, and I was super happy about it. So what do I know? We are going to unreleased toys. Toys we only know about because prototypes managed to leak out and get into a few specific hands. Night Prowler here was originally from the Halloween Horror Con packs, which was going to be like Halloween themed releases for certain more creepy characters. And yeah, it was Cheetor basically as a snow leopard. There was a Black Arachnia done. There was a repaint of a Beast Wars mutant that was also included. I believe a Waspinator as well. Like what eventually would become Sky Wasp, I think. It was a really random thing for us to even find out about, let alone for Hasbro to be willing to put out again. Now, it's just a repaint, and it was a retail exclusive. But at the same time, like, that's a deep pull. That's a very select group of fans who actually know what that toy is. And yeah, like the fact that it was available at a normal Walmart is kind of insane, and kind of makes me wish they had done all of the horror cons again, even the one they had to do a new mold for, because I kind of like the look of that Soundwave mutant, but it's all gold plastic, so I need one that will not shatter immediately. All right, so what else? What other depths of obscurity? Oh, Red Wing. Red Wing is this amazing story, this combining like miscommunications between Takara, Hasbro, and Fun Publications with some really crazy coloring errors in a comic book in order to create this. And for years, like, there was just this red seeker who randomly appeared that was supposed to be Sunstorm, and then because one company was doing Sunstorm, they decided, no, we can't make that Sunstorm anymore. And then they, I don't know, they changed colors, they changed ideas. It turns out they weren't doing Sunstorm. It's a mess. It's a mess. Go look up Red Wing's page for the full story on TF Wiki. That's the best that I can tell you. It's a crazy story about why this Seeker exists at all, but I do think it's an amazing thing that it does exist. I don't know. Red Wing might be one that we see down the line. We're gonna see here in a minute. It's not the most unlikely one. Scourge. Scourge is a comic book exclusive character. Very few appearances. He's just kind of like a, yeah, Scourge. You know, see, it's what he sounds like. He's just kind of a scavenger bot with a special arm. Don't forget the special arm. Now, this is one I include to, you know, that it's not just recently. Hasbro did this one during Combiner Wars, or just a little after Combiner Wars when they did Computron, and they needed a sixth member, so they retooled Cosmos. And he got his special arm in the form of that spaceship, that little space shuttle that goes with him. Yeah, the special arm is the weapon mode for that. But no, Scourge has a modern toy, which is a little bit nutty. Yeah, and that's only one of the characters from the comic books that they were willing to tap. They tapped Straxus back in Generations. Darkmount, we had to call him. For some reason, Straxus didn't clear legal. What else can we go even farther? How about Power Dashers? All three Power Dashers have modern figures now. That's weird. Power Dashers were mail-away only things. And like never appeared in the cartoon. I don't even think they appeared in the comic book. I think they were literally just left to bonuses if you wanted to burn your robot points when you ordered from their catalog. It's crazy. It's really nuts. This is like as far obscure as you could pull and still have some memory of it being a Transformer from your childhood. Yeah. But that even then, you know I'm going in some form of order, right? Right? So, like, we're not even at the craziest, most obscure thing, right? No. Let's go a little bit further. How about Puffer? What is Puffer, aside from a potentially poisonous fish? No, a Puffer. So, in Brazil, we're going this way. We're going this far. In Brazil, when they imported Transformers, they didn't actually get the Pipes mold. They didn't get the remolded version of Huffer, but to have the character on the shelves, they repainted standard Huffer into Pipes colors. So that is what you have here. Hasbro literally did a Puffer figure for a toy released in a completely different continent that we barely hear any reports from or have any like surviving examples from. This is about as obscure as it gets while still having a Generation 1 toy. While still having like a physical toy that existed, this is about as obscure as you could possibly pull. To even go with the fan-made name of Puffer as his official name is kind of like a nice, it's a nice little tribute to the fans, is what it is. But it's also just like a hilarious little like cherry on top of the whole thing. I got another listing that just came up. We'll talk about it again in the news roundup just for the sake of being complete. But look who came up in the listings. So Naselle, it's a blue, white, and red Seeker. But the idea here is that it's using Thrust's wings, but has a standard Seeker head. This came about because of a catalog photo that showed the next year's worth of Seekers, but because they were all in prototype stages, it was just the existing Seeker bodies with new parts added on. So I want to say this was Thundercracker with just prototype versions of Thrust wings on that weren't the right color yet. And FunPub made a toy out of that and called it Naselle. And now a modern Naselle is being made because we found a listing for it. And I'm just screaming in my ear, like, you're telling me the Earthrise Seeker mold is going to be Naselle before it's Sunstorm, Acid Storm, or like Action Master Thundercracker, which would go so well with the G2 line that's being done right now. Like, really? Naselle of all transports. Ridiculous. Oh my god, that's actually going to be out. Hasbro's actually going to make a Naselle. I don't know, I kind of hate that this toy exists because the source of it's so dumb, but I will respect the fact that it made it to an official release. Oh, speaking of that G2 line, yeah, an entire line devoted to artwork that we only know of through found art later on. Yeah, that's also kind of insane that Hasbro doing an entire line of it. Not just a random one-off. No. Every Walmart's going to have stacks of these neon nightmares. And apparently, they're not going to stop there because if you got Skyquake and Needlenose, you can do this. And if you know your Euro G1 toys, you know that G1 Skyquake could combine onto the minions of his subgroup, the Predators, in order to have these little combinations where they could dock on top of the vehicle mode. It seems that Needlenose has plans to actually become one of them someday. We have no idea which one, but the functionality is there, which means a G1 Skyquake is inevitable. So get that G2 color scheme ready to go. I mean, these are only some of the examples. Like, I just wanted to take you down, just to like show you the scope of obscurity that Hasbro is reaching these days, just for the sake of doing these like crazy homages and giving something that fans have never had before, or maybe have always kind of wanted, even though it's like such a like far out there reach. And it just kind of gets me to thinking, like, what's too far? What character is either like so impossible to do or so obscure that Hasbro's just never going to get around to it, you know? You could pull crazy things, Emirate Zeron and things like that from the comic books, from the UK comic books especially. There's crazy ones you could do. For me, where I would call full stop, like this is the craziest thing Hasbro could possibly pull. And I'm thinking things like Battle Gaia. You know, if they ever do Combaticons again or pull the Combiner War Combaticons out, you know, things like that. But really, I think this is where I draw the line. Grandis. Because there's no one you can remold it from. It's got to be a brand new figure. And it's one of those, like, base spots that is, like, ridiculous to even conceive of doing. Because it is so, like... Because literally, if you've never seen G1 Grandis, he transforms by falling on his face. And I really wish I was kidding. I'm not. He's supposed to be an aircraft carrier, but he looks like a parade float designed to look like an aircraft carrier. Design-wise, it is not great. But it is one of the final G1 Transformers because it was in Battlestars and Return of Convoy. So, like, it exists. It's there. And if Hasbro does it, I'm out. I give up. So, that's just my look at the overall obscurity we're going to these days. It's a wonderful time to be a Transformers fan. Because there's just, we never knew this was coming out. Like, even when there's leaks, it's surprising what they're going to do next. But it's what keeps it exciting, right? So, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this little kaleidoscope of who is that we currently have toys coming for or already have. Look forward to them, because it's kind of special that we're even getting any of this. So, until next time, thank you for watching. I did that out of order. Going with it. Guys, I am facing the most powerful enemy any YouTuber can face, the algorithm, and I need your help to defeat him. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and leave a comment. Every time you do, we attack that algorithm and we drive it back until it can no longer defeat this channel. Thank you very much.